Right then, we know Erik ten Hag is keen to add at least another 3 players to Manchester United's first team. And we also know that because of the recent sort of announcements of the club's financials, that the budget will be nothing like what we saw in the summer. Manchester United are they're going to need to come up with some sensible buys, some bargains, and potentially even some opportunistic transfers. Whether or not we can get this done in January remains to be seen. I would think you can probably get one of these over the line in January. I think the other 2 potentially going to be looking at coming in the summer, and I'm not sure which. I think it could be any of these 3, but we'll lean towards one of them, and I'll explain that why in a second. Now, there's 3 positions that Ten Hag has supposedly identified, and that is a right back, a midfielder, and a forward. And those are the positions that I think all of us would agree. A little bit more depth into midfield. Definitely a striker. That's probably the priority. And another right back. So let's have a look at a couple of options for those areas then. So I'm going to look at the right back first, because I think this would be the most money that we could spend. Now, the rumour is approximately £70 million as a budget. I don't know if that goes up with sales, or if it's just some figure that someone's pulled out of their arse, but let's go with it just because it's the only sort of figure that's out there at the moment and gives us something to work off. So £70 million, what can we get for that? Now, a right back that we talked about in the summer, 19-year-old, plays for Lyon, £35 million, Malo Gusto. He's one of the most dynamic and promising fullbacks in world football. He is quick, he is silky, he is powerful, he is tenacious. Everything that I think Ten Hag would want in a modern-day fullback. And he's got the technical abilities, the dynamism, and the stamina to cover and dominate an entire right flank at a top football club. In a game against Reims last season, he completed 43 sprints, which was a record for a player last season in Ligue 1. And this season in Ligue 1, he ranks number 1 for crosses, number 1 for successful tackles, number 4 for passes into the final third, and 6th in dribbles. This is a league that's got Messi in it, by the way. This guy's coming in 6th in dribbles. His carry numbers are impressive at 49.36 per 90, which is among the top 3% of fullbacks. 97% percentile. And his progressive carries are 8.45, which puts him in the 98th percentile. He also offers a lot of attacking threat with the ball at his feet. And according to Soccer Men, he was the 6th best player when it comes to expected threat last season amongst defenders. He was also the 5th youngest player in Europe to play more than 1,000 minutes in the League campaign. And he is perfectly suited to exactly what Ten Hag wants in terms of football. And he could probably be the next big thing as at right back in world football. So we can get him for 30, maybe push to 40 million. I think that's an absolute steal for us. And it's a wonderful footballer that walks straight into the starting 11, maybe demotes Delo back to being a backup, but certainly gives him a hell of a lot of competition at right back. Next one is a player that we were linked with a little bit over the summer. I think he's a potentially cheaper buy. And that's 20-year-old Brian Brobby, Ajax. The figure on his head is 15 million, which might be ambitious. It might cost us a touch more than that. But he's got 19 goal involvements in 39 appearances in top football. He does average a goal involvement every 57 minutes, so 39 games. A lot of those have been off the bench or short appearances. He's strong, muscular striker. He's got raw speed, and he uses his pace to beat defenders and his physicality in tight situations to be able to roll defenders. One of the major attributes that I think Ten Hag likes about him is his link play. He's got good ability to hold it up, and he would thrive as a lone striker and as the team's focal point, which United don't really have at the moment. He is very active in the penalty area, and he tends to join poaching instincts with intelligent movement and finishing ability that's seen him score goals at a ridiculous rate. He is very raw, but I think he's got the assets to turn himself into a force as a striker, and obviously under the tutelage of Erik ten Hag, who is seemingly a major fan of him. It's feasible that 6 months without the pressure of an out-and-out starter, he could make an impact and then potentially develop into that leading forward a little bit later on, maybe the following season. You could even take the pressure off United needing to break the bank for a striker and actually spend it in the engine room. And then the third player I would like United to look at is Yuri Tillman. I think he is going to be itching to get out of the sinking ship that is Leicester at the moment. His contract ends in June 23. So I think you could go and throw anything at Leicester and they might take it. 20 million might get him over the line in January so they don't lose him for free just a few months later. Especially if they're going down, they're going to need all of the funds they can get after losing out on the TV money in the Premier League. Now, he's not had the best season this season, and he's still suffering in the mess that Leicester are. It seems he's had a bit of an eye on playing elsewhere. That might have made an impact. But he's an immensely talented footballer who should be able to find and revamp his form with a move to a bigger club. He's got Premier League experience. He's a very intelligent and technical playmaker that's got lots of different facets to his skill set. He is someone that really fits the mold of a top-class playmaker with the ability to influence games in many ways. He is excellent at progressing the ball forward, at passing, at dribbling if need be. And the versatility that he's got, exemplified not just by his quality in his ball or the physicality, but the raw intelligence of him. His awareness and his ability to stay composed under the extreme high pressure situations means that he gets to execute all of his ideas to a very high level. His vision and passing are the obvious skills, but he's also very good at being direct. I think he's an asset when you're trying to progress the ball. I think he's an asset in defence as well. He's strong with both feet. He's got a great striking technique. But obviously he's an excellent passer of the ball. And I think if you're operating within a budget, you want to move the squad forward, you want to progress the squad forward, and you add in some hungry young players that are destined for the top, but not at the top just yet. So you can take them to the top, and you're adding a little bit of Premier League experience for next to nothing in Youri Tielemans, who might not be attracting the attention of everyone at the moment because he's not in blistering form. But this is a blip. He's an excellent player, and I think he's probably one suffering with what's going on around him more than anything else. And I think in a United side that's actually got some quality around him, he would really step us up. So that's my thoughts on the three players that United could and maybe should be looking at bringing in across the January window and the summer window. Let me know, what do you think? Would that be sufficient enough for United to take on the next challenge in our search for getting back to being a team that can compete for the league? Is it good enough, or do we need more? Let me know in the comments in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.